we're on to Tiananmen. We'll be going to the square and then to the Imperial Palace, or the Forbidden City. And back that way, Dr. Tanner said, was where the man with the tank, or the man stepped in front of the tank in order to stop the tank from going any further. Just packed with cars.
Okay, gather around. We've got a few explanations and choices.
Okay. All right, so here we come to the Tiananmen Square. This area and back there, the whole place considered as a part of the Tiananmen Square. And the name of the Tiananmen Square, I think everyone understands what square means, right? Okay, the Tiananmen, do you know the meaning? Okay, Tiananmen in Chinese means the gate of heavenly peace. So by the name you can tell this is the name of the gate, right? This red gate leading people to the Imperial Palace with a red wall over there to circle Imperial Palaces. Imperial City for the royal family members. And this gate is one of these gates for this city in the south. And it became popular on October the 1st, 1949. Because it was there on this building, the late Chairman Mao proclaimed to the whole world the founding of New China. So from then on, this building like a symbol of the New China. So the square is after the name of this building, right? So that's why we call it the Tiananmen Square. This Tiananmen Square, now is 122 acres. It's big enough to hold 1 million people for the activities. It is said that this is the biggest square in the world. I don't know, because I haven't seen any other square from the other country. I have been outside China here, So in this way, I think this is a big square, right? And for good luck, lucky color. And for the communist country, the red RED also very popular for the communist systems. So that's why red flag. 5 yellow stars. Yellow, well, there are two meanings. In China, yellow means center. Yuxing, right? Yuxing, 5 elements. Yellow, like exactly. These are from Taoism, very complicated. But anyway, yellow means center, right? Central government. The yellow also symbolizes the nationalities. So we have the white people, the black people, yellow people. This is the yellow, the white yellow. The biggest star stands for the Communist Party, the leading party in China. 4 smaller ones, 4 social classes. Originally, but now people like to say it's people from all different groups, all the nationalities. So that's the meaning of the national flags. And so these are flags from 1949, since 1949, has been the national flag for New China, North China. So every day in the morning, I remember I mentioned earlier, at the time of the sun rising, so there's a ceremony for the soldiers marching on here, raising the flag.
Is it crowded every day?
Soldiers, and so Deng Xiaoping had to work with a whole bunch of different army units.
Peddlers aren't allowed, but they go around and try to sell you stuff anyway.
See the button? He was pushing some button and I guess he's saying,
Start talking to stop, this is the police. So that police officer right there, he has like a little speaker that says something in Chinese. Got the attention of that guy. These peddlers aren't supposed to be doing it, but they do it anyways, and they all kind of wink at it.
and they walk off for 10 minutes and come back again, I'm
Right,
sure,
yeah,
just like
yeah.
the homeless people.
You know it.
all over.
You know it.
Walk away, but there are always new people coming in from outside, from other cities, from other provinces. So that's why it went up to third. It's a total standoff, and then the party sends the army in again on the night of June 3rd and into June 4th. And that's when the tanks rolled, and they rolled from outside to the west there. It came along Chang'an, and most of the shooting took place way far away from Tiananmen Square. And by the time they closed in on Tiananmen Square, most of the students had left with a small group there, including a couple of older intellectuals. One of them was a guy named Liu Xiaobo. Liu Xiaobo was a literary critic who had been in America. He'd been in New York City when all this started. He was living in my apartment because it's cheap. And he went back to be involved in this, and he had started kind of hanging out, working with the students, and participating in these.
I was watching.
Army all over the place tonight, June 30th and June 4th. The students had an AK-47, which Liu Xiaobo smashed. And then he and another older intellectual negotiated with the army. They said, you let people out. And so they had a negotiated withdrawal, and the students exited from down over there. And so in Tiananmen Square itself, no violence. I mean, minimal violence. There was some killing up here on Chang'an, up this way. That was way out there. That was way out there. That was the day afterwards. And so when the students withdrew, and then of course there was shooting over there, there was shooting over there, there was shooting. But nobody knows how many people were killed. And when it was all over, June 4th into June 5th, June 6th, then there's a kind of restoration of order. And one of the results of this was that economic reform slowed down for several years. Because the more radical parts of the Communist Party who were against economic reform said, hey, you see, look, you do economic reform, you're too weak on bourgeois liberalization, look what happens. And so economic reform slowed down until Deng Xiaoping made another kind of, after a few more years, kind of kicked economic reform into another phase, which resulted in the kind of takeoff that gives you today's China. Anyway, that's in a nutshell.
That's a good nutshell. All right. Kind of walking around Tiananmen Square. You heard Dr. Tanner talk about what happened in '89. A lot of security around. Not so much, they're not worried about foreigners at all. In fact, we walked right through, they had us go around the bag check-in through security because they figured a bunch of American tourists aren't going to cause any problems. What they're worried about are other Chinese people who are maybe going to try to do some sort of protest, or Dr. Tanner said a number of years ago, some members of Falun Gong, which is this religious sect, set themselves on fire here. He said occasionally someone will blow themselves up because explosives are easy to get to in China and rather than guns, and so they'll just blow themselves up. That's good to know while I walk around here. At least I have my camera just in case. These used to be pictures of communist leaders, foreign leaders like Lenin and Stalin. They said then they had put up slogans, communist slogans, once those foreign leaders kind of fell out of popularity. And then for the Olympics, they got rid of the slogans and put up these huge screens that shows a movie about China. All, I guess, put a better face on it for everybody. That right there is like their Congress. Headquarters of the government, really. And that's a national museum on the other side. Something up there, I don't know, I guess they have volunteers or somebody that stand up there. Some security forces there. Not much different than what you see at the National Mall or other places in DC, really. A real heavy sense of security kind of out amongst the people. We're going to go over the Forbidden City later, the old Imperial Palace. Looks like kind of a dancing fountain over there. That's the one thing about coming here, is that it doesn't feel as foreign as I thought it would be. There's so many people that are walking around in Western style clothes, and to the point there was even one lady that had an Iraqi Freedom t-shirt, Operation Iraqi Freedom t-shirt on. I saw hats, New York, and Nike, and all sorts of things. There's Mario Brothers right there. And then so many people have cars and things you recognize, so it doesn't have that foreign feel like I really expected. Alright, now we're kind of on the other side of Tiananmen. It's a statue for the recognized soldiers that have fallen in wars past, particularly, of course, in the Revolution, in the Civil War against the Nationalists. There's another one on the opposite side. Apparently that was the entrance over there, so we came over the wrong side. We gotta get back, but anyway, that's what this is.